Yeah, let me start with something you brought to my attention. This is a show I have not watched, but I was very intrigued by this news that there is apparently a Dexter prequel coming, I
Yeah.
guess, starring Christian Slater, Patrick Gibson, Molly Brown. I have not. I think this is one of those things where I heard so much hand wringing about the original finale, so I said, "Oh, well, I'm just not even going to give it a shot." And so I've never seen any of it. But then some people enjoyed I guess, the reboot that came, and now there's a prequel coming.
Yeah, see, here's the thing about Dexter, and I think we've hit on this before because it was in my memory. I felt like I already knew Ryan has not seen Dexter, right? So
Yeah,
I know we talked about it before. I think we talked about Half Showtime. I was like, we're going to make more Dexter, and I said, like,
yeah,
how? Well, of course, how? Of course, it's going to be a prequel show. It has to be a prequel show. No spoilers, but come on. Here's the thing about Dexter. I would still say that going back to the original show, it's quite good
yeah,
through at least the first, I think it's four seasons. I think season four is the one with John Lithgow. And then, I kept watching and I still thought this is pretty good, and going into further seasons, some of them are, I don't know what it almost like, I guess I was to say, it gets like almost cheesier or something. It strains plausibility a little bit. It gets a little, whatever along those lines, but I still, find it entertaining enough. And
yeah.
then in the last season, I'll even say this, Ryan, I think it's season eight of the original series. I was watching, it was like, well, it's kind of interesting what they're doing. And then, like, the latter half of season eight, it was just like, woof, just, just, just totally like, I mean, it's still one of the most enjoyable things that I've ever
Yeah.
read was the AV Club review of the series finale of the original Dexter. And I can't remember off the top of my head who wrote it. I guess I wasn't planning on mentioning this, so I should have looked it up. But they give grades on AV Club, and they gave it an F, and like it was just the most cathartic, uh, negative review I've ever read. I mean,
Yeah.
including lines like, "And at that point, you thought there's no possible way that Dexter could get worse. Challenge accepted." So anyhow, I think that finale is absolutely terrible. I don't know if there are people who defend it. There probably are.
I think it's
Um,
widely accepted. Dexter, Game of Thrones, How I Met Your Mother are kind of the pantheon of started out amazing and then just crash landed at the end.
yeah, and then some people throw Lost in there, and right, both of us will disagree.
Yeah,
That's
no,
that was a little like, oh, I'll fight you.
that's wrong.
Um, you're incorrect about that one. Anyway, we're going on a tangent, but I mean, the thing is, then I guess it was a couple of years ago when they decided to do the reboot or like sequel series. It might be a better way to call it. And I couldn't bring myself to watch it,
Yeah,
and that was an interesting conversation because while everyone I was talking to was agreed about what I just said about the original Dexter, then there were disagreements about like, are you willing to forgive it? Do you feel like there's any chance that it could be redeemed by this, reboot, revival, sequel series or whatever? I was just kind of felt squarely in the no camp.
yeah,
I don't know. I did. Andrew Davis wrote on it for the site, and I did read his recaps as I edited them. So it's like I know what happens. And as I read through, I thought, this doesn't sound bad. This doesn't sound, this maybe is pretty good. And Andrew enjoyed it, and I did finally, maybe a year later, turn it on to try to watch it, and I just still couldn't.
yeah.
So maybe at that point, though, maybe it's because I know it's going to happen. So yeah, I don't know. Anyhow, I know how what is it, Dexter New Blood, I think it's called. I know how that ends, so of course they're doing more. It has to be a prequel series. Not terribly excited, but part of why I put this on here too is seeing who they cast in it. Now I'm kind of intrigued.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, for fans of Dexter, part of me with the prequel series, part of me seriously, legitimately wishes that they had just stuck with Michael C. Hall
Yeah.
and the young. What they did in the original series, Ryan, which you haven't seen it, they had a couple of flashbacks to when Dexter was younger, and they just like made Michael C. Hall look younger, and it didn't work at all.
Okay.
You can probably look this up online. Like it didn't work at all. It was just like Michael C. Hall with a mop top haircut, and it was just like he still looked like he was in his
Yeah.
30s or whatever. So I kind of wish that they would do that. But Patrick Gibson, who they've cast to play the young Dexter, I am a fan of. I don't know if
Yeah.
you're familiar with his work at all. For me, it's primarily from the OA.
Oh, that's right. I did forget he was in the OA. I've seen him just in bits and pieces of things, but I have not seen the OA. But just sort of poking around, sort of this has gotten, I think, widely praised that he's going to be this young version of the Michael C. Hall character lead on Dexter, and then a couple of strong supporting characters as well.
Yeah, Christian Slater, big fan of Christian Slater.
Yep.
Christian Slater is cast to play Harry, Dexter's father, but in the original series is like his conscience or whatever. And but I mean, I guess it's a prequel, so he's actually going to be alive. Um, I can't. The most recent thing that comes to mind for me with Christian Slater is Mr. Robot, but he must have done something in the past couple of years.
Yeah, I think he's been in a few things, but I thought he was quite good on Mr. Robot and other series that got a lot of acclaim. So yeah, he sort of has made a TV renaissance and has done quite well doing that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mr. Robot. Wrote on the last season for the site, and then Christian Slater was doing that. Molly Brown, I'm not as familiar with. I know she's been in some things. I looked it up, and I haven't seen those things.
Yeah, no, not too familiar, but this piqued my interest. I mean, I imagine this will be a show where it will have benefited you to have watched the original. It seems like they're going to try to also go down a path where we can just pick up new folks who haven't seen that before.
Yeah, it could be interesting. You could try this try and watch this show without having seen the original. I
Yeah,
wonder. I mean, like it might well work because
yeah. I mean, I know the premise
um,
of Dexter and sort of, why he or what he does and why he does what he does, but it might be interesting to see something like this, see if they could, yeah, put some interesting stories to
yeah,
what, yeah, what's been, I think, lambasted along the way after after finished.
that's the thing. I find myself wondering if it might almost be better if you're coming to this fresh,
Yeah,
because the only way it could refer to the original series as a prequel series really is to be like wink.
yeah,
So anyhow, we've got some other
yeah.
stuff to talk about. Um, so that's coming to Showtime or Paramount Plus with Showtime or whatever they want us to call it at this point.